If you run an e-commerce site and you've got it connected to standard e-commerce platform, perhaps like WooCommerce or Shopify, you'll likely have plenty of data. But do you have the right insights, and do you know where to find that information within GA4? So GA4 is packed with lots of features, yet there's lots of opportunities to find the right insights, which will help you drive the right actions towards improving the numbers that come out of your Shopify site. So in this guide, we'll walk through how to access the reports, what the metrics actually mean, and how to spot perhaps some technical implementation issues with your data. All right, let's get stuck in. So I'm starting in the home section of GA4 to begin with, but then if I head into the report section, allow that to load, you'll see I've got lots of options on the left-hand side here, one of which is this revenue and monetization report. Now, a couple of things here on spelling and on the reports itself. Because this whole section is customizable, you may not see this immediately, or it may be in a different position. Moreover, I'm based in the UK, so you might see that the monetization report is actually spelt with a Z. You might see instances where it's spelt with an S in the wording there. So just something to bear in mind there. We've got three, for this one, we've got three report sections. The monetization overview gives you the opportunity to really see a high-level view of what's happening. And of course, in the top right-hand corner, we can change the date range. We can perhaps view and add an annotation if we wanted to, and we can customize the report as well. So if there's perhaps something in here we're not finding valuable, for example, we have these items purchased by item list name, by item promotion name, and by coupon. Perhaps our e-commerce platform isn't bringing that information in. We can amend this report to kind of give us the insights that we want to see. So if I click on the Customize Report button here, which looks like a little pencil in the top right, I can actually remove these here. So if I scroll down just to remember what we're looking at, so it's item purchased by item list name, and then the coupon information as well. There we go. I've been able to remove the kind of insights that I don't find particularly valuable. But then if I see there's the option here to add cards to this report, if I click on that, there is the option here to add additional cards, which might be relevant for e-commerce, or you might find it valuable to kind of build in the different types of insights that you want to see. And I can sort by topic and sort by chart type there. But I'm happy with the ones I've just removed, so I'm going to click Save and save changes to current report. Of course, you could save this as a new report and then add that into your library and add that into the report using the Customize Report feature, which is we can look at in another video. The one area that I tend to look at the most is the e-commerce purchase report. So this gives us an idea of the purchase by item. So here we can see in this column here, we've got item name. We've got a drop down here where we can look at different perhaps varieties here, or different types of dimensions around the items. So I could choose item category, and I can see pendants, earrings, and rings rather than just the item name. And then we've got metrics like items added to cart, items purchased, and item revenue. And again, we've got our two charts here. If they're not particularly valuable, just like with the overview, we can click Customize Report and remove those charts. So for example, I don't particularly like the scatter chart. I can remove that there, click Save, and save changes to current report, which means next time I click on that report, the scatter chart isn't available. Something to bear in mind, and I think here is where we might find those debugging opportunities. So if, for example, you're seeing zeros next to items added to cart, or perhaps items purchased and no item revenue, that tells me that the information being pulled into GA4 is either incomplete or incorrect. And these are all based on specific naming conventions. So for example, items added to cart that needs to be the add to cart event. Items purchased needs to be in the purchase event, and they all need to be within an items array. So you have to ensure you're kind of following Google Analytics guidelines, and most platforms like Shopify, like WooCommerce, will follow that practice as well. The next report I think is really neat. It's the funnel report for e-commerce. Now, this one here I built out specifically for this client, but actually when you go into your monetization report, you'll already have one set up, but it might be worth reviewing how to build a funnel in another lesson. So this gives you an idea of abandonment rate. It gives you an idea of how many users are going through the particular purchase journey and then abandoning at particular stages. And this might help illuminate areas where you think to yourself, okay, we're getting lots of customers in at this particular stage. They're going to perhaps this add payment info, but then they're abandoning at that stage. Is there something wrong with that part of the journey? Can I optimize that? And here we can see it by device category, but there is a drop down where you can see it by different, perhaps different dimensions. So I think, looking at all of these different options gives you some real opportunities to optimize and input actions that will really drive additional revenue and please users a lot more. If you've enjoyed this and want to learn more about GA4, check out this playlist. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can keep learning about how to use GA4 to further your client or your company's actions and insights. So that's the monetization report section there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.